Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
Welcome back to Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast. Hope you enjoyed back-to-back weeks of Jeff and Tony. We had fun. We're talking about all the different stuff we like and stuff we watched on TV, television. And hearing Tony feel, slightly uncomfortable and a little darker inside, having heard all the things that I watch in my free time. But this week, we took a break from Jeff and Tony and brought in a guest, like the older episodes. So this week we have Pat Finn. He is one of my most favorite people. He's always got a great attitude. He's a really good guy. I've gotten to get to know him over the last 6 years. I've gotten to know his wife, his son. He's just a all-around really great guy and a fun guy to be around and funny. I'm super excited to introduce you guys to my good friend, Pat Finn. This is episode 52. I don't know any athletes with the number 52. I think Ray Rice, wasn't he 52? I love Ray Rice. So there you go. No, he's not. Oh, that's what I meant, Ray Lewis. It's hard to get these guys mixed up. We love you, Ray Lewis. You're the best. Pat Finn, if you might know him. I know him from friendship and playing golf and getting to know him real good. You might know him from the millions and millions of movies and TV shows he's been on. He's been on Cheers, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Two Broke Girls, Friends, Seinfeld. He's literally Ed TV, or it was just called Ed, I think, actually. The dude has been on everything. Yes, Dear, Funky Monkey, With You in Spirit, Las Vegas, The Drew Carey Show, Less Than Perfect, According to Jim, How High, Love and Support, Three Sisters, Dude, Where's My Car, Third Rock from the Sun, King of Queens, That 70s Show, Grown Ups. These are all, he's been on everything. So if you don't recognize him, you're a dummy. Or it means you don't subscribe to the Patreon and you're only listening. So you got to subscribe to the Patreon. You'll recognize this guy. It's $10 a month. You'll love it. Otherwise, rate, review, give us some thumbs up, give us some stars, leave a nice little comment. Enjoy the episode. I know you will.
Then if you can give me a clap, that'd be great. There we go.
We talked about on the Fahim episode about how I'm going to do the Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast 1, 2, and I'll clap, and then you do it, and then we just stare at the guest and see how long.
It's hilarious. Just should I
just
do
wait,
it?
Yeah, just wait on you.
Yeah.
Although they start to go up, you just do a nod. No, don't. You're not part of the.
I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
You have no idea how much I talk about you when you're not around.
Come on.
Yeah, this is the Friendship Podcast. You're one of my. I feel like I name drop you just because every time I'm around you, I've never had a bad time.
Oh, that's not. I would say right back at you.
Yeah, we always are at fun things.
That's true. It's not like we're in a quarry.
Yeah, but we're always at a fun thing. But there are moments where it may be kind of what is happening, and we'll still have fun goofing around about it or making fun of it.
I agree. Yeah.
We just did the holiday classic in Arizona. I wasn't even. I guess it's been a while now.
That was great.
It's been a few months.
True.
But there was an awful part where there was an auction, and it's just awful because nobody really was interested in. Was it an auction?
Yeah, they could be. Yes, they were. Pat Perez had his. They were going to auction something off. I think kind of a quick live auction.
And so everyone was just kind of from the area of Arizona, and they're dressed up nice. No one really knows why they're there. There's there's kind of going to be some music, and I think they're selling something. I don't know.
Right.
And then you were there, and I was just so happy you were there. They had me kind of host it in a weird way.
Right.
But there was nothing for me to say. They're all right, just go up there and talk about the golf thing a little bit. maybe do some jokes. You're like, this isn't the venue
Right.
for that.
It felt like it was like the first rehearsal of like the Emmys,
Right.
Like 3 weeks before they happen. Just like, this can be loose. Then you're going to say something and something will happen and then somebody will bid or not, whatever.
And it would get quiet and uncomfortable or something. Then they'd be like, Jeff, can you go back up there? I was like, what do you mean go back? What am I going to say?
Yes. Help us out.
It was really uncomfortable. But
No.
it was great that you were there. So I got to like goof around and make fun of it with you.
No, it was great. You were fantastic. You did really well.
Yeah.
No, those are hard though.
Yeah, you don't know what to do.
Well, yeah, and you're trying to get money from people that have already donated a lot of money just to get there in the first place. And you're like,
Yeah.
wait, hold on. Don't put the pocketbooks away.
That's always the hardest part, I think. Even at Caddyshack,
Yeah.
they're like, there's that pressure from celebrities to buy stuff. And you're like,
Yeah.
why don't you buy it?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Why am I being pressured?
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
I'm doing Caddyshack this year. Are you doing it?
Yeah, you go.
Okay, you go every year, right?
I kind of have been lucky enough to go. I went to the first one ever. And then the second one was in Chicago,
Oh, nice.
which we won, which was insane.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And then it got hardcore and it was like,
Yeah, it's like,
I'm back down.
these
with
are
them.
real golfers.
Yeah, now somebody caught wind that, wait, Pat Finn won? This is
Somebody
absurd.
caught
Nip
wind.
that in the bud.
It was like the one year there was like for the Oscar for Best Picture, it's like, that one?
Yeah, wait, we should get in the movie business.
That's exactly.
Wait, so you won. What did you win for winning that?
I think like one of those glass plaques.
Oh, nice.
And then it's cool. There's like a wooden putter.
pretty-
We won. It said like, Murray Brothers.
Where's
Caddyshack
that?
Oh,
tournament.
cool.
It's at home. The cool thing about it is that it happened to be sponsored by a beer company called Old Style, which is kind
Which
of
is-
a local beer like Rainier.
Rainier,
Mhm.
Seattle,
It's-
PBR's like,
Yeah. It's
I don't know what's that, Milwaukee or something?
PBR is Milwaukee. And Old
Yeah,
Style's lacrosse.
and then Old Style's like Chicago, right?
Yes, that was
Yeah.
kind of like the Chicago blue collar beer. But out of college, I ended up working on a keg truck and then in sales. So it was kind of cool.
It's
that,
perfect.
Like the only job I never wanted to quit, and I got Second City right after it. And I'm like, oh, damn, Second City, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it was like
Worked out nicely.
literally had a wall in my house of just all the beer you could they literally just take beer.
That's amazing.
Wow.
It was pretty
You
nice.
should use that putter to play.
I should bring it. You're right. I should. No,
Like,
but it had Old Style
why
on the
is he
bottom.
using it? That's like a trophy.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, I figured I'd use it. I'm
No,
blue collar.
Exactly. That's how we do it.
I'm a regular guy.
Now he's using the glass plaque. This is
Yeah.
absurd.
You're eating off of
That
it.
you're teeing off with it. Like it's put the ball on top.
On top of it, yeah.
It's risky. It's gonna
I didn't
shatter.
even know you could win those things. Really, I guess I just was. I'm always there for the hang and the cigars and
I
the
am as
joke
well.
around.
I'm not necessarily a super competitive person. I'm certainly not the kind of person you would think like, oh, you're going to carry us over the top.
Yeah.
As my clubs are like upside down in my bag.
I didn't know they counted the celebrity guest's score.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, they
and
do.
Then sometimes they do
Oh
it.
man, that gives another reason why people must hate having me on their team.
That's the other thing, because all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, now I have to like it counts. Like, oh, Pat, I saw you didn't
not
have
fair.
a great front nine. I'm like, wait, you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want him to see that at all.
Yeah.
In fact, at the Holiday Classic, I was the only guy that wasn't on the board. They showed where all the people placed.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they lost my picture or if they thought I went home or something.
Right.
I wasn't even on the board.
Not even like disqualified or like
Nothing.
the DSC, like in the Olympics.
There was guys with scores lower than mine, and
Yeah.
they were at least on there.
That's crazy.
That was very weird.
Yeah, and it was they have that was up a lot.
Yeah.
Like, Donna's like, oh gosh, you went really low. I'm like, thanks. That's what I need from my wife. I won. Dave Coulier had a super fun one in Detroit years ago, and the cool thing about it was
Was
that
golf or hockey? He's a
was
big
both.
hockey. Oh, okay, yeah.
so you
Oh,
played.
wow.
I think it was like golf on Friday at this great place, and then the next day was hockey at Joe Louis Arena, which was
Wow.
insane because I played growing up, but not like.
I can't
played
even skate. So
Yeah, but I grew up in Chicago, so I could skate.
okay, yeah, you got it down.
But it was like Iserman, Shanahan. I thought it'd be,
Jeez.
like,
yeah.
yeah, just a couple of Canadian sitcom.
Well, and also, like, you can have like a softball game. Pretty much anyone can
get
go
away.
out there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Golf, like, someone stinks. If you've got, Kim DeJesus is on your golf.
Yes.
You don't count it. She's gonna
No,
whack
right.
it in the woods or something.
Yeah.
But with ice hockey,
It's very
Yeah, you can't
specific.
really, and it's not a lot. They're not the kind of guys to kind of coddle. Like they're not like, here, I'll help you. I'll take care of that.
no,
Like,
they'll check you into the boards.
Yes, no, they do because there's no like, oh, I'll just go at like
awful.
20%.
Right,
There's,
that's
there's not. It's they're a professional hockey player.
Yeah.
And my first line, I was the third line, and all of a sudden somebody's like, "Where's Finn? He's in this line. He's the right wing." And I'm just like sitting there, just like staring, all like hungover. And all of a sudden they're like, "Get out there!" I'm like, "Ah!" And I ran over to. I started to like go over the boards, And I knocked over it was like the bikers' bikes that all like domino, everyone's stick like domino down. And the guy's like, use the door. I'm like, right, sorry. So I go over and I start pushing the door. And the backup goalie's like, you pull it. Which makes sense because you would never open it onto the ice.
Someone's
yeah.
skating by.
Right. And I'm like, crap, it's been a long time since I've played hockey. So I get out there.
But also, what a weird thing to shame someone for. You're like, sorry,
Well, when they were,
this isn't my home rink.
right? Yeah, exactly. Well, they weren't like, it was all hockey players, like 2 or 3 actors, and that's it. Bob
okay.
Seger's like a saxophone player was a goalie, I think, who got knocked out in the first 10 minutes. That's how.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
So I get
no.
out there waiting for me. And by the way,
you guys are with a slap shot.
yes, it's 16,000 people. Like it's packed. It's not like, there's a couple of guys just sitting around. It was packed. So we get over, I skate over to my spot. They're waiting for me for the puck drop at the circle. And I skate and I stop right next to this guy who was the left wing on their team of the other celebrity team. And it was, I just turn and I just go, hey, how you doing, Gibby? Like that. Puck drops, elbow right to the chest. Drops me. I'm like, what
Oh
the?
my God.
It wasn't like vicious, but it was more playful,
So
big
what?
brother. I wasn't expecting it to say that. And it wasn't even near the puck. I didn't have the puck. It was near
I
the
don't
puck.
care what his intent was.
Yeah.
An elbow was like lodged.
And all of a sudden,
No, he's a good guy though.
no, and it was, who it was? It was Kirk Gibson.
Oh, you're
Oh,
kidding.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was funny because his jersey came to like almost his like belly button. He was that tall. He's a big guy.
I love Kirk Gibson.
And it turns out they're like, yeah, he doesn't like to be called Gibby. Or at least by people he doesn't know.
That's what it was.
And then I went to apologize later on. He
Yeah.
turned out he is a great guy. So
Yeah.
it was really, but yeah, that was nuts.
So it was out of some, you thought it was playful, but no, you said
No,
it,
there was
Some
I
Dallas
like
intent there.
yeah, at changed periods. So we went down to like basically,
it's like calling Dave Coulier Joey.
yes, exactly. Right. And I literally they had like a manager down it's their locker room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, can I throw you like a 50 if you could get me some wire? Can you get some wire? I need a face mask. I had
Oh,
no
yeah.
face mask. I was like
100%.
old time hockey because I'm like, these were coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
didn't-
reation to have any pride. You're not a
Yeah.
hockey player.
Nothing to
Yeah.
prove.
Totally. And I
Nothing
didn't want
to
to
prove.
you broke your cheek. Yeah, but we almost beat Saget's team. Like, it was.
I can't believe there's so many people there to watch it.
That's what was crazy.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, you got
nuts.
some good people there for sure, but
What-
like that's like
Hockey
to watch
talent.
anything that celebrities play in is only fun if you're playing in it.
Yes,
In my opinion, like
yeah.
even like they always do like the celebrity basketball game for the NBA. It's so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Our
hard.
eyes are used to watching pros.
Oh, totally.
Even the worst pro
Yes.
is so much more athletic, so much faster,
Yeah.
so much better than the best celebrity. So when you're watching on the screen, you're like, what are they playing in slow motion?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, why are none of them dunking? Oh, that's right. They're all actors and
Yeah.
musicians.
Right. Was that a set shot? Was that, like, I always think, and this is like almost like a stand-up joke, but it's that in the Olympics, because it might even be somebody's joke, but it was like the 10th guy in 10th place is still the 10th fastest guy in the world.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like if they pulled some guy out of the stands,
Let him
there's-
run.
Yeah, just so
That'd
you
be
see,
great.
like, oh, okay, those guys are really fast.
Yeah, they're the
Yeah.
greatest.
Yeah, here's
Yeah.
Kurt from the Quad Cities. Just like, he's got a sandwich in his hand.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
pulls a
they
hammy
wouldn't
halfway
do that.
down.
I think it'd be great.
Just to give
give you
people
a
like,
gauge.
do you realize how incredible these people are?
Yes.
Like the first time I ever took a swing at a golf ball,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm good at baseball. This will be easy.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is a whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's like people spend their whole lives trying to get good at this.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous
it's impossible.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your sport if you have to pick?
That I like to play or I like to watch?
Just in general, you get to pick one sport.
Oh, shoot.
Because when you came in downstairs, you were like, "Oh, you excited about the hockey team for Seattle?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah." And you talked about hockey here for Cluyé.
Oh,
and then
shoot.
every time I'm around you, we're golfing, but that could just be because that's
I
the
really do.
events
I like
we
all
go
sports.
to.
I grew up in Chicago, so it's much like Seattle, a really
Yeah.
big sports town. So the Cubs are huge, and Bears and Blackhawks are always big, and the Bulls and whatnot.
Yeah.
I played. I was too little to play in high school football. I went to a really big Catholic school, Loyola in Chicago high
Yeah.
school, but it was like 2,000 boys.
Wow.
So all boys. So there's gonna be enough
Right.
guys that are bigger than me. So I played soccer, and then went to Marquette, which is in Milwaukee, and played rugby. there with my
Soccer,
brother.
rugby, golf,
Yeah,
hockey.
yeah.
You played baseball.
A little bit. It's one sport
Little
I didn't
bit.
play a ton of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I played 1 year Little League and that was it.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It wasn't, I don't know why it wasn't that big where we were for some
Really?
reason. Yeah. Well, I also worked in the summer, so
That could be.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I had a caddy, so I couldn't.
Baseball is such a poor kid sport. That's why I liked it. I mean, I think that's why I was so into it.
Yeah,
Yeah, throw it around.
totally.
Yeah, it's easy.
Even more is I don't think they have it anywhere other than Chicago and parts of Indiana. But when we were kids, we played 16-inch softball.
Oh, yes.
seen one of
wow.
those?
Oh, I played in a league here for just one game.
Oh,
I
did you?
filled in
Okay.
for
With
someone,
no
but
mitt.
they called it Chicago style softball.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's crazy. I mean, there's a line like out the emergency room door of just jam fingers. There's just every game you just go, oh, we jam that.
Wait. So is this like?
It's so fun,
It's
but
not
what
like
makes
it's
it?
not slow pitch.
It is slow pitch, so there's an arc to the ball.
Okay.
and
But the ball's like this big.
it's
Oh, wow.
it's like a big grapefruit. And I think from what I understand, the reason they did it was because
Nobody admits.
if you didn't
Right.
have to spend money on a mitt.
Ah.
Also in Chicago, there wasn't a lot of space. So you could put 4 diamonds in a park and the ball doesn't go super far.
Right.
You know what I
You
mean?
can
So-
wallop this thing, and it's just like a sack full of can of corn.
Yeah.
And they
It
just
is.
get you
it's
out.
it's a weird.
Oh, wow.
I mean, sometimes guys can connect with like a perfect swing, but
Oh,
it's,
so in the game I played, I crushed one over all their heads, but I'm not as quick as you would assume I'd be. So I got like a triple out of it. And
Okay.
everyone's like, dude, you hit that so far. How did you not
yeah.
get a home run? I was like, oh, you know. And they're giving me a hard time. And then my next at bat, they just scooted back 50 feet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they caught me out every
No,
time.
of
And everyone's
course.
like, hit it on the ground or like poke it through the. But like my ego was
Yeah,
just
what?
too big. I was like,
No,
wow,
I know.
man. You saw
No.
the first one?
Yeah, I'm here for some
Yeah, you
rips,
saw the
bro.
first one. You were here for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's a serious triple.
We need fences, is what we need. Don't get mad at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a home run fence so I can just ding these
But
over.
that's a great game. And then you could play like with all the 20 somethings when they graduate or go into the city and have all these crummy jobs. There's always co-ed softball, so it's like the big thing. And then they go back.
Oh, yeah.
They're sponsored by a bar, and then they go back to the
Right.
bar. And they we played one year and we were awful. We were horrible. We were like by far the worst team in the league. And so then there's the playoffs, and now you play the best team in the league. But hey, everybody's 0-0.
Yeah.
And we actually it was like 10-10 on the bottom of the ninth. So like, wow,
yeah, it's a real game.
so it's bases loaded, 2 outs, their team's up, and the ball comes right at me. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And you're kind of just running, and the ball's kind of moving, and you're
Yeah.
trying to run as fast as you can. And I'm like, I think I got to leg this out into a dive. So I dove. And I was going to be a stuntman after college. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
So it's in you.
Yeah. So I don't mind it.
You
at
don't
all.
mind it. Here
Yeah.
it comes.
So I dove and just went boom and caught it and just rolled perfectly and just kind of rolled, kind of tuck and rolled
Yeah.
around but heard a little bit of a snap.
Oh,
And I was
no.
like, hey,
that's like
but I've never broken anything in my life. So I was like, oh, whatever. And
How did you hear that snap over all the people cheering?
the
roar of
raucous
the nine,
applause.
yeah, the 9 people waiting for the next
y'all
game.
That's it. Yeah, and your teammates, and that's about it.
No, so we went to extra innings, and the only reason I bring the story up is because we lost by like 17.
Oh,
And-
no.
it's okay. It's funny with the podcast, like there's no proof of it. Like, yeah, we won by 9.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
had like 11
There's
grand.
no homework.
No,
Yeah, there's no
exactly.
research. I can't look this up.
No, totally. And so we went to the bar afterwards, and I probably had 2 or 3 beers, and I was like, wow, it still hurts
Oh,
a
no.
lot. And I was like, and usually in rugby, it was kind of like, there's not a lot of doctors in rugby, but it was always after 2 or 3 beers, if it still hurts, maybe something's wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I went over to Northwestern, which is a pretty big hospital, pretty major hospital in the city, and I went over, and the nurses, okay, you're over there, it's triage, and I told them what happened. And this doctor comes out like 20 minutes later. He's like, all right, what do we got? And he was like totally like a Hollywood type, young
He's on
doctor.
cocaine. What do we got? Totally Hollywood
A lot
type.
of sniffing.
Yeah, hey, what do you got there? You got a broken arm? We're gonna rotate a couple.
Nobody did. She goes, all right, we've got, it was something like a black eye, and then we've got twisted ankle. He was stabbed in the thigh.
Oh, God.
Gunshot wound. Possible broken clavicle. And 3 more things. And I'm just like, wow, I'm literally kind of like sizing myself up. I'm like, all right, now I'm 7.
I'm definitely
okay,
last.
I'm definitely 8.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm behind, the sore throat lady.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden he turns around and he goes, okay, let's, clavicle, what's up? How'd you do that? And they go, which is so Chicago. Because
interesting.
Yeah.
they talk to you like by what you ordered.
Yeah.
Hey, extra ketchup. You want fries?
Clavicle.
Like, So he goes, clavicle. I go, yeah. And he goes, what happened? I go, I was playing softball and I dove for a ball and kind of caught it and rolled over and put us into extra innings. You know, I was the worst against the best. And he goes, nice. You caught it? I go, yeah. You're not BSing me. You caught it? And I go, yeah. And he goes, all right, I'm starting with clavicle, then I go to gunshot.
That's
then I go to
amazing.
I kid you not. And I go in, he goes, you're not lying to me. I go, no, I'm not going to lie to you. I caught the ball.
That was my defining
It
moment.
was. So this will be on a podcast someday.
That's
So, I know,
incredible.
isn't that such a...
I like how alpha male he is.
Yeah.
You caught it? All right, you're first. What?
Exactly.
Good shot. Hang in there.
Yeah, I
Hang in there. Good
I
shot.
caught a bullet from a game member. Yeah, you didn't really catch it. Anyone can do that. I see these every day.
That caught you. You
Yes,
didn't catch it. Yeah.
Different type of
Yeah.
catching.
Yeah, big whoop. I see these every day. Like we're just got his gangs here.
Yeah,
this
guy's
guy,
MVP.
this
over
guy's
here.
a legend.
Yeah, yeah.
Did he tell you it was bottom of the ninth? It was two.
It was a tie game.
For an extra
That was going to be a
innings.
walk-off.
Right.
That was going to be a walk-off hit right there. You saved the game.
Right.
What is it with doctors? This guy was cool, you know. He wanted to know the details.
Yeah.
But I feel like they always ask stuff that's none of their business.
Like what?
For example, like if it has to do with the thing, then I'm all open book, you know.
Okay, yeah, of
But
course.
you're not my therapist,
Right.
You know. So they'll be like I'm going to an STD place and just making sure I don't have any. That's
Right.
it. Just to like go in there. Let's get things checked. You
Yeah.
know. She's like, "How many partners have you been with?" I was like, "Don't worry about it." She goes, "Excuse me?" I was like, "Well, don't worry about
Should
it."
have said, what's the record?
Yeah, like, I'm just shooting for the stars. And this is a real thing that happened to me. And she goes, "No, I need to know how many partners you have for the thing." And I was like, "No." And she goes, "I have to know because this is, you know, this is part of the thing. I'm just the nurse, but the doctor's going to come in. But these are the questions I have to ask you." And I was like, "Well, if it's more than one person, check my dick."
Yes.
If it's more than zero, actually,
Yeah.
that's all.
I'm here.
Right.
For a reason.
And then she goes, she got mad at me for saying dick. And then I don't remember how. She was like, "Please, you know, whatever." And then we go through a little fuss back and forth. And then she goes, "I'm going to ask you one more time, or I'll ask you to leave if you're not going to participate. How many partners have you had?" And I was like, "All right, 1 million." And she just left the room.
I'm like McDonald's
And
in
a
the
new nurse
70s.
came in. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
But I was like, you're just trusting me anyways.
Right, yeah.
What if I say 50 partners?
Yeah.
What are you going to check more?
Right.
You
Right.
check
Is
harder?
there another pocket? Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I need the 50 magnifying glass.
Yeah. And if it's one partner and I'm like a married guy, and they barely check, they're like, "Oh, he's probably fine." Like
Yeah.
what is the? I
Yeah.
just feel like it's unnecessary.
There's anything. Well, like it'll be like, oh, I was on a pogo stick and I fell off. You know, that's not too smart. Like it'll do stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Well, and also like even your clavicle, you could, if you wanted to be ornery, just look at it.
Yeah.
Why do you care how it happened?
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. What are you
Doesn't-
making small
What
talk?
does it matter if it's a motorcycle
Right.
or exactly.
It doesn't change the
somebody threw
injury.
a ladder at me. Like, there's no. Yeah. Oh, that's different
A
though.
woman yelled. That's how weak
Yes.
my bones are. A woman yelled and my clavicle snapped.
There's a friend of mine. It might even been Joel. As when actors are in for a movie or a TV show, where they're a regular, or it's a big deal. They go. You go into the get a physical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have you had those?
Yeah, physical. Yeah, I've had that.
No, but from the doctor, from like from the doctor.
Oh,
One of
no.
those
Yeah.
I usually go to
One of
like
the-
just a pal and say, "Can you
No.
give me a physical?"
No, like
Check
if
me
you're doing
out.
a pilot or a movie,
Oh yes.
you go to the
We should talk about that because I don't think people know what that is. When
Yeah,
you
that's
get
right.
on a show,
yes,
they want to make sure they didn't give you anything, or you didn't get hurt, or you didn't get like like for Extreme Makeover Home Edition, we'll go into like burnt houses and stuff
Yeah.
like that. They're like, if we get bronchitis from that, we can prove we didn't have bronchitis by going to a doctor who just kind of checks all the regular
Yeah.
stuff first.
right, exactly, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a doctor that's paid for by the producers or the Warner Brothers or whatever company it
They're
is.
so not thorough.
They're like from the 40s.
Yeah.
It's a really weird. They're not thorough at all.
Yeah, I don't even believe they're doctors.
No, but and it's always like, okay, your knees feel okay. All right, great. And just you haven't been vomiting or anything.
That's
All
it.
right, yeah, it's almost like the same list of questions for the First World War. It's like that same.
Yeah, give me a
Who are you
cough.
leaving behind?
Yeah, give me a cough. No, you don't got TB.
Dude, it's
I
ridiculous.
don't think so.
In fact, one time I went to one of those
Yeah.
for Better Late Than Never, whatever show I was going to go on. And I said, I was already going to go to the doctor this week. I'm having blah, blah, blah. And I start to like list what I was going to go to the doctor for anyway. I was like, this kind of works out great. You're a doctor. And he goes, oh, I can't do anything with that. Hey, what do you mean you can't do anything with this? It's a doctor, right?
Right.
He goes, yeah, but we just check these. Send a kind of a thumbs up to the production company.
Yeah.
I was like, but you already died. He's like, yeah, I'd have to recommend you to a real like an actual doctor that would deal with that.
That's so.
And who are you?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Right. Is it
And
like
I was having a lot of trouble with that in my brain. Like, but I'm in a doctor's office.
Right.
Like,
You got a
I'm
diploma.
sitting at a doctor.
It's not like the word doctor is italicized or anything.
Right,
It's
yeah,
not like,
It must be some Medicare thing or some sort of healthcare thing
that could be.
he's like, oh, well, this is covered under like their health thing. I can't just be giving you personalized health advice without
right.
going through your.
Maybe.
I
But
don't know.
but you're right. You think they're a doctor. They'd be
Just
like, let me
check.
take a look at that. Yeah, we're all here.
It's weird.
That's crazy.
Wait, so that when you caught that ball,
Which I caught.
which is on
Save the
record.
game.
It
It's
is
on
on record,
record.
yes.
Sent to
that-
extra innings.
Yes.
Lost by 17.
Injury and all.
Was that your defining sports moment, or can you think of a
that's
thing
so
in your
funny.
mind when you're like, no, that was my greatest sports moment?
Gosh.
Man.
That's a tough one.
That is tough.
It's a great question, though.
What's yours? I know mine.
I would say I probably like I had a walk-off base hit.
Oh,
once
nice.
That was like cool. It wasn't a cool hit though. Like it was like I hit it in the gap, but it was like a single because the game ended.
Right.
I was like, that could have been like a triple or something, but
Yeah.
maybe that.
People are too busy celebrating
Yeah.
because they got the run in.
Yeah.
I know mine. It's high arc softball. It's not even a.
Oh no, I changed mine, but go.
I haven't had a big sports career. Never. I've always loved sports, but I was never the athlete. I was
but you're
never the guy.
athletic.
I'm athletic now. You've only known me like in this age.
Oh,
when
really?
Yeah,
Like
when
as
I
a
was in
kid?
high school, like I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
I didn't even shoot up past 6 foot till I graduated high school.
Wow.
So I wasn't on any of the teams.
Okay.
Anytime I played baseball growing up, it was recreational. Like
Mm-hmm.
my parents paid some fee, and I'm playing in like
Yeah.
some league.
Yeah.
And even on those teams, I wasn't good. I wasn't
Right.
good at all. I could, if you watch me. If we play catch, you'll be like, that dude can catch, he can throw, he's good. If
Yeah.
you see me at a batting cage, you're like, he's
Yeah,
good.
you got to swing.
But the difference is when it was like a competitive level, I was crap. I was just crap. It wasn't in me. Like
Right.
I'm like when that kid's trying to throw me out,
Yeah.
like that's like playing catch. I'm trying to throw it at you. You're
Yes.
trying to throw it at me. But when you're trying to pitch bat like that, rattles me. That's like a scary thing.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my defining sports moment, I got to come up in the bottom of the 7th, I believe,
Okay.
because we only play 7 innings in high arc softball, at least in the league I'm in.
Yeah.
And
Standard.
we're playing against my old boss.
Mhm.
It's his, and he's a great guy. I'm friends with him and everything, but
Okay.
he hired me for like a work thing. And then I was like, oh, we're playing their team. Bottom of the 7th. All I need is a base hit, and I've got 3 runs. I got bases loaded.
Okay.
So I got a chance to just get a base hit, knock these guys in. I remember praying in my mind. I like closed my eyes while I'm walking the plate. I was like, God, just give me this.
Yeah.
Just give me this one athletic
Yeah.
thing. I've actually done that since, and it didn't turn out as good. But I just looked at that pitch and I rocketed this thing. I already had 3 home runs in the game. This is my 4th home run of the game. I just launch
Nice.
it into the lights, and everyone's like, a base hit would have done. I just
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
walk off grand slam against my
That's
old
incredible.
That's pretty
against my
great.
old boss. I think the ball is actually
Oh, nice.
in here somewhere. It used to be, but yeah, that's mine. What's yours?
That's awesome.
So yeah, okay, I changed mine. So 9th grade, I was playing a game and I was up to bat, and the guy buzzed me up and in.
Oh, wow.
Really pissed me off.
What grade? Sorry.
9th grade.
9th grade.
And I think he did it twice in a row.
Which in 9th grade, that could just be he doesn't throw good.
Right.
Yeah, control might be an issue.
But, I'm a 9th grader and I want to feel like I'm a pro. So I'm like,
Right.
this guy's trying to, because he did it twice in a row. So God, this guy's trying to hit me. Then the next pitch, I popped up to the third baseman. So I was mad. So I walk back to the dugout, sit down. I'm sitting next to my best friend, and I sit and I look at him. I go, next at bat, I'm taking this guy yard.
Nice.
Called my shot.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean
What-
secretly.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
he
You
can
can tell the
confirm
whole team. You
it.
didn't
He
throw
can
the-
confirm it though. I've said
Calling
it.
my shot,
I
like,
said it out
like
loud
the babe
to
with
him.
2
Much like the
fingers.
babe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure. Then I would have got beamed for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
so I would have lost my opportunity. So
And rightfully so.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
exactly.
Also, why didn't that guy do that to Babe? He calls a shot, just
Yeah.
pepper him,
Yeah,
just
just
hit
pepper
him
him.
right in the
Yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I thought you were gonna get a home run.
Yeah,
Right.
and then next at bat, I go up there. First pitch, it's a ball. It's like up in the zone, but I was on it and just
Oh,
hit it to the
nice.
moon.
Nice.
Home run.
Oh, that's great.
Crazy bat flip.
Nice.
I touch them all. I get back. My friend's on deck and he goes, "Hey, yeah, thanks." Because the bat flip was pretty egregious. He was like, "Hey, thanks for that."
Yeah.
And then next pitch, he gets beamed.
Oh, really?
Which he knew. That's why he thanked me. He's like, "Yeah, thanks."
Right,
Now
yeah,
I'm gonna
appreciate it.
I'm gonna get hammered here.
Thanks for poking the bear.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
"Sorry, man."
I love the bat
Wow.
flip.
Yeah,
There's
it's the
nothing
best.
in the world I like more than the bat flip. When
Yeah.
when the other team hits a home run off the Mariners, I'm annoyed, and then I see a bat flip, and I go, I like that part at least.
Yeah.
Even when it's against my team,
Yeah.
I love the bat flip.
The I think Bo Jackson was the first one to do it with the break of the bat and the knee.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That was one of the craziest things. And I think that one of my, I shouldn't say it's my favorite, but like as mad as you are that you struck out, because there's been a few guys
Yeah.
that have done the bat on the knee and it doesn't break.
Yeah.
You're
Oh.
like, you just don't even think
'Cause I
about
don't
playing the
understand
lotto
how you
today
can
at all.
do
It's
it.
just like you're just having a bad
You
day.
can't even break that.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
Also, you thought you could, which is strange.
Yes.
Have you ever
Which is
tried doing
crazy.
that?
Oh, it's hard.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Unless your bat's already like, if you like broke your bat, like already,
yes.
like it's like
Which I
part-
think that's what makes people do it, right?
right.
It's
Some
'cause
people.
they
I
break
don't
that.
think that's what made Bo Jackson do it though.
Oh, really?
I think Bo
No.
Jackson just was like,
Upset.
It's,
Bow breaker, baby.
it's not that it's the same, but I know I just thought this was a funny sports moment. I coached all the kids in sports and I'm sure we won lost almost every game just because I don't really care. I
You're
literally
the
would tell the
fun
refs
coach.
like, come on ref, if somebody's hitting the rim, you got to call it. Like, and they're like fifth grade girls from a small Catholic school and they would
Yeah.
laugh. And I'm like, I
All
would
right,
get
no
away.
dunks, no goaltending.
Exactly. But my son, it was like fifth grade. They were playing some team to whatever. And it was in our little high school, our little grammar school gym. It's down the street here at St. Francis. And he's little and he's a decent athlete. And there was like 3 seconds left. They were down by 1. And the ball comes in and it's just this errant throw. And my son catches it like he's catching like a watermelon. Like there was
Yeah.
nothing there was no turn and shoot that we're going to, follow
Yeah.
this move at all. It was
Yeah.
just a solid, it was a cannonball that hit him. And then of course in that age, another kid in the other team just falls on him.
yeah.
And all of a sudden the ref just goes, foul. That's it. 1-1, free throws.
Nice.
And I was like, wow. And then you're like, oh shoot. Then it's like your kid and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
so he goes up and he's this tall. And the ref just goes, everybody clear the floor, which I always think is crummy because now it's,
A lot of pressure.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's also a different psychologically that nobody's
Sure.
there. So I think that's
Oh,
not like
yeah.
a technical, but the game's technically over. So I guess you can. But now
Right.
teachers are coming out of the woodwork and students are coming off the playground. Everybody's, it's like this
Yeah,
little
everyone's looking.
Lord of the Flies thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's happening over
Right.
there? Yeah.
And the ref comes over, and I know most of the rest, and I didn't know this one. There's an older guy, and he comes over, and he walks over to my son, and gives him the ball, and he kind of says a little something to him, and I'm like, oh, that's sweet. And he turns and he makes the first free throw. And like these kids that age, like they jump like a foot. It's
Yeah.
like, it's so heavy to get that
Yeah.
ball. And he makes it, and everybody goes crazy. It was great. And then he the second one kind of dinged short. So they went into overtime and lost by 17.
Oh,
But
no.
we're driving home. But we're still a fun game. It was so sweet that he did that. And we're driving home, and I'm like, hey, Matt, it was really great. You have a lot of pressure, and you came up and you made that first shot. I go, you had a really good game. I was really good. Yeah, it was fun. I go, hey, I got to ask you, what'd the ref say? That was sweet of him to come over. He goes, oh, yeah, he just walked over and said, well, he gave me the ball, and then he just said, wouldn't want to be you right now.
Oh, my God.
That's like the worst
Yeah.
hallmark moment.
What a
Like,
jerk.
I know. It's
What a
not
jerk.
problem.
Wouldn't want to be you right now.
Exactly.
Don't blow it,
Hurry
kid.
up. I got a
Yeah.
scotch waiting for me in the car.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be like. Hey, either miss them both or make them both. I want to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You thought it'd be
You know,
something
we
like,
don't get paid for overtime.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I have all these things in my mind, like, oh, he said something. He quoted
Wouldn't
Jimmy
wanna be
Stewart.
you right
You know,
now.
just-
You thought he was like who's that coach? Mo Cheeks? What's his name?
oh yeah,
He played for the Philadelphia 76ers. Is that his name? Mo Cheeks?
and Mo Cheeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got like a statue in Philly.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer now. They reminded me. I don't know why the little girl
Oh,
singing
yeah.
the national anthem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then she forgets
She
the
gets-
lyrics.
she gets locked
She's
up.
like rattled and he comes over and
Yeah.
he's like, come on, you got this, and he starts singing it with her, and then the whole stadium just starts
Isn't that
singing the
cool?
national
Yeah.
anthem with,
Yeah.
including like famously Chuck. What's the coach for the Pistons? That's kind of a
Chuck Daly.
Yeah, Chuck. Is
Yeah.
it Chuck Daly?
Mhm.
It sounds like I always get the Dailies mixed up with.
No, but it also
golf and
sounds like a
stuff. Yeah.
game show host. But I think it's Chuck Daly.
Yeah.
And
He's wearing
he,
three-piece suits. Just didn't.
he was singing along.
Oh,
He's like
cool.
famously like a grump.
That's kind of.
But yeah, like I think you thought it was gonna be something like that.
I did. I just thought it was two little Catholic schools
Wouldn't
going on.
wanna
We
be
say a
you.
prayer before the game. And, at the end, we thank the refs. So it's a very wholesome
Yeah.
environment.
What a bum. That ref is
Yeah.
a bum. Wait, so what's your defining sports moment then, you think?
Gosh, I don't know. I remember I was a freshman at Marquette, and my brother was a senior, and so I was playing rugby, and I was new to rugby, and I was really tiny. I went to Marquette. I went to Marquette. I was 140, and I graduated 230.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
So I got 90 pounds
Yeah.
of knowledge and chili and beer. But we played this team.
That standard freshman 90.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like when you go to an airport, that's one of my favorite things is to look at like, oh, that's New York. Like where they're going to
Oh,
before
yeah,
you see
100%.
Houston, you see a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
But when you're always like, Milwaukee. It was just kind of-
The Vegas terminal's always a nightmare.
yes.
It's always just people so excited to go. Like when you see the Burbank, I can pass like A3
totally,
or whatever.
yep.
And you see all the people that are just so giddy.
Yeah,
Like,
everybody
have you
got
never
bloody.
been to Vegas? It's
No.
an
Yeah.
awful
Oh,
place.
yeah,
It's
you
the
already
worst.
excited? Yeah. But so long and the short was I was on the B side. So you have an A side and a B side.
Mhm.
I was just starting. So I was on the B side. And the other team had a couple of just enormous guys, huge guys. A couple guys. One guy played for the Chiefs. I mean, like,
Oh my
big.
gosh, yeah, big
Wow.
moves.
So they only had
The football team, not the tribe.
Yes, exactly. So they had maybe like probably you need 15 for a side, and they only had like 12 or 13 for the second side. So this enormous guy, he's fat and big and like 6'6", and just like, yeah, I'll play, but I get to be a wing, which is like
Oh boy.
that's like I play opposite him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just it'd be like Manute Bol being like, I just want to be a
It's
guard.
not
I just wanna
fair.
sit
Yeah,
here.
it's
Yeah.
And so he got the ball and he was just coming right at me. And I'm just like, oh, shoot. And like, there's no. And so I kind of took an angle because I'm not going straight on him.
Right.
So I took an angle and then I just dove and just kind of cattle roped his legs. And he just went down
That's the way to do
so
it.
hard.
Yeah.
But the place went crazy. And then afterwards, we always have a party afterwards for the other team. And he came over and he kind of shoved my like broken clavicle to me. And then a doctor ran in.
Yeah.
No. and
Did
he
you
goes,
tackle him?
Yeah, but you tackled him, right?
You tackled
All
him,
right.
right?
Hang tight, gunshot. We'll be-
It should be great. Like,
He's
it'd be a great way
everywhere.
to leave a party. Hang tight, gunshot. It's
Yeah.
a new way to leave. But so he came up and he goes, hey, you're the kid that hit me? And I said, yeah. And he goes, nice stick. And I was like, oh, thanks. And
Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I love
It was
that.
a cool moment.
The other, I think, sports defining moment was I almost won that home run derby at Wrigley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were rolling.
I was just
did Glendon?
hitting rockets. Yeah, and I went up against because it was supposed to be like a celebrity home run derby for like any of the people that were there.
Yeah.
And
Canseco
Bill
showed
Murray
up.
hit 0, Jenny McCarthy hit 0, and so like there's not a lot for these people to be watching.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't remember who it was, Michael Barrett or somebody's like, let Jeff go up.
Yeah.
But the people are like, we don't know who Jeff is. And like, well, he's on TV and stuff. He's here. He's one of the people
Yeah.
that's on the celebrity list. So they let me go up, and I hit like 8. Like I just blasted.
You had such a great swing. I
And
remember
everyone was cheering, and that feeling of being like, oh my god,
yeah.
I'm hitting a home run over the ivy like in Wrigley is such a great feeling.
Yeah.
It was the best, and it's we're playing from center field, so it's not like I'm at home plate. They've made a special wiffle ball field,
Yeah.
but the outfield wall is still Wrigley. It's
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
No, you're still in Wrigley Field.
Right.
Like
and it's still going over there. So I'm just blasting these things, and I was like, "This is the best. This has got to be my favorite." But I did end up losing to a pro baseball player. I got second
Yeah.
place. Michael Barrett won.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And I thought he would tank it or whatever. But you're
Yeah,
like,
well,
"Oh."
they were. I don't even know if they were really trying. Really, they don't care.
No.
They've won like real things.
Yeah.
I'm sitting
Ivy.
swinging out of my shoes. I'm getting like blisters from the wiffle ball
Yes.
knob. So
No, I had one because somebody was playing third in the first inning. And he's like, yeah, I don't play anymore. It was like playing Sudoku or something. I'm
I
like,
didn't
dude.
care.
And so this is such an odd sentence to say. So Derek Lee's like, Pat, you got to play third. And I'm like, you play at Derek? He's like, no, I'll hang out here. I'm like, oh, okay, Derek Lee. I've had you 14 times in fantasy baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
But so I went to third, and the first or second pitch was like a rocket off the bat. And I dropped like a hockey goalie, like literally
Oh,
just did
yeah.
like the splits and just went like that.
Yeah.
and caught it.
I think I remember this really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you're saying, I'm like, I remember that.
But I remember talking to the photographer. I'm like, "Did you get that?" He goes,
Yeah.
"No, I was taking a picture of Derek Lee." I was like, "Oh," but I was like, it was like to see that in my mind.
Come on.
That picture like this with the
Yeah.
ivy in the background.
Oh, it's
and,
incredible.
If there's ever a reason to like succeed or like to get into show business and do well, it's to be at things like
Yes,
that. I
I
think
agree.
it's so
That's
fun
all, that's
for
all
me.
I want. I watch the like MLB celebrity game and I'm just like, ugh.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
Like
that
just
was-
goofing around with these people, like, and also like they don't care if you're bad at golf or if you're. They don't expect you to be good at any of those things. So it's such low stakes.
Yeah.
It's like if I was an actual baseball player, I'd probably be less well received
Yes.
in my own sport than just being like someone. Oh, I've seen your TV show. You're with those old guys, and
Right.
they're friendly.
Oh, totally. I
That's
think
the
they're just
best.
there for a good time. And you're right. I think we do have it easier than like, Jeremy Roenick or somebody who's
Sure.
got, like who actually, plays and or is
Right.
athletic. So we can kind of get away with like, I was on Murphy Brown. So, like, so they don't,
true.
it's not like a pressure light. And usually it's one of those things like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I was in this movie and that show and this show. Yeah, I don't watch movies or TV.
Oh, yeah.
You better be a good golfer. I'm like, nope.
Well, I think that the athletes are the ones that I get starstruck by the most.
Yeah.
And also they don't, in my experience of these things, they never get like the Griffies and the it's never like Willie Mays is hanging out. It's literally the guys who had the journeymen, the guys who had really great careers.
Yeah.
But you'd have to be a fan of baseball to maybe know
to
that
know,
guy. They
right.
weren't like household names.
Yeah.
And so they're always just so happy that you know them and that you're talking to them. And,
You know who's cool that I met at the Caddyshack just because I was a fan when I was a kid was Louis Tiant.
oh yeah.
El Tiante was kind of a fun one. And
Yeah.
obviously any of the Cubs and all that stuff. And
Well, and
Jim-
also
Jim
they always
McMahon.
want to be your pals. Like
That's what's
Glendon's like
weird.
one of my good friends now, or probably the
Oh,
same.
totally, yeah.
Todd Walker's like, give me your
Yeah.
number. I'm like, Todd Walker's like hanging out with me and texting
Yes.
me and all the different stuff. Like it's
Jim
just cool.
McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, Jim McMahon talked my ear off about puzzles.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I love puzzles. I was like, what in the hell is going on in the world?
Yeah, it is.
He's got to work on the brain.
Yeah, that's what he
Keep his
says. He
brain
says
sharp.
it helps his whatever is what's the just CT or whatever.
CTE?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a weird thing. I love those events, but it's also there's a thing that happens, and I'm sure we've discussed this before, where each group has paid money to be there.
Yes.
Like all these corporate guys.
Yeah.
And then they're it's the morning of. They're all up early. They're having like Bloody Marys. They're
Yeah.
all super excited. I don't like getting up that early. It's hard for me. I drink. I'm a nightclub comedian.
Yeah.
So I'm like puffy eyed, look like crap. I come out in the morning and everyone's excited. Like, who we gonna get?
Right.
Who's gonna be our celebrity? Is it gonna be Sterling Sharp?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be
Grant Fuhrer.
Jason Kidd?
Yeah.
Who's it gonna be? And the look on their face every time they find out they get me
Yeah.
is just this overwhelming disappointment. They're just like, oh, who is this?
Yes.
We don't know him. He doesn't, he's younger than us because these are usually like older guys that are,
Yes.
these things. But by the third hole, they're so happy they
That's
got
all it
me.
is. I agree.
Yeah, because I'm telling them stories. I'm
Same.
trying to make them laugh. I'm goofing around. I'm listening about their lives.
Yeah.
I'm smoking cigars, drinking, telling about girls.
Yeah.
And then they go back to the end of the night. They're like, hey, what? How was Sterling Sharp? They're like, oh, he left after 6 holes.
No, totally.
He barely talked to us.
Yeah.
He was really good at golf, I guess.
Yeah, no, I've had that too. Where it's just kind of like, last year we had Larry Zonka or somebody. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
great. And then I'm just literally, then you're trying to like pad yourself. Like, I played Madison Square Garden one time.
Yeah.
I was on King of Queens.
Do you tell them your credits?
No, I mean, I'll tell stories about things, which I like. And in some ways it kind of, I feel it justifies the amount of money they spent on the
Absolutely.
charity, which
Yeah.
is at the end of the day, the coolest thing about it is that we can play and we do get an amazing scene with the perks and to get to hang out with all of us is kind of fun. But the people are always great. And it's this funny little like 4 guys that you don't know or women or whatever. And then by the end, you're exchanging numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to set you up with, financial annuities and
Yeah.
okay, great. But it's funny too, because it is 2 different worlds.
Yeah, 100%.
I played with 4 dentists one time.
Wow.
And I don't think I've ever seen anybody drunker.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I've hung around hockey players for a long time, but it was insane.
Yeah, they drink a lot.
I was like,
Well, they're
wow.
seeing it as like golf, I guess, is famously like this kind of like, oh, it's boys' day. We
Yeah.
don't have to like our responsibilities of our families and wives and stuff. Is we're on a golf course now, so like they just take advantage of that.
Yes.
And just drink anytime. If there's a hole with like girls that are giving away like tequila or something, forget about it. Those guys are going.
Yep. No, and it's also like a 7-hour, an 8-hour like festival of like,
getting trashed.
I got new socks and a shot of Jaeger.
Yeah.
Like it's just these random. I petted a cheetah. What? Yeah.
It makes me happy to be at those things for sure. And I've met so many of your friends, and that's how I met you, was going to these things. But you've known Joel.
Yeah.
Kevin Farley, Chris. You grew up with Chris Farley, also that circle. So this is a friendship podcast. I'm having you on.
Nice.
We're friends.
Very cool.
So how long have you known those guys, and then how did you get to know them? And then also, you're still friends with them all, right? Like you guys are close pals.
Okay, really close. Really, great guy. So I went to Marquette, like I said earlier, in Milwaukee. And met my wife, which was great, freshman year, and then
she's the best.
That's right, you know.
Yeah, I love her. Your whole family.
Oh, that's so nice.
Makes me very happy. I don't know your daughter really, but
no, but you're so nice.
Son
to the kids.
And your wife are like my favorite people in the world.
And I think Ryan's like your biggest fan. So
he's the best.
But yeah, so I met my wife, and then Chris Farley went to Marquette. So that's where I met.
I didn't know that.
I met him. So we played rugby together, and
oh wow.
Just kind of came. It's one of, I don't know what it is. It's almost like you're on the road and there's just somebody you're kind of, you and I mean, just like there's a simpatico, like we could talk and, you know, hey, there's a 2-hour delay for the flight. You're like, that's all right. We're talking.
Big deal.
Yeah, not a problem. So Chris and I became best friends. And so Chris and I were going to come down to Chicago together, and he was a year older. So he left to go to Madison, where he's from, to live with his folks and wait for me for a year to come down to Chicago together.
It's incredible.
Which is basically Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
His dad owned it. He took his dad's clients out and stuff. Oh, let's take them out and we drink, and then they sign a contract. Like, that's unethical. But Midwest sales.
That's right. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So then Donna graduated, and then Chris and I came down to Chicago together and did Second City and Improv Olympic. But it was because of Joel. So going back to the Murrays, there's 6 in my family and there's 9 in the Murray family. And we grew up 2 blocks apart in the same parish, St. Joseph's School in Wilmette, north side of Chicago, North Shore. And
see, religion does do good things.
See? Right. And so Joel's mom and my mom used to go to church every day together.
Oh, wow.
That was kind of their thing. And then all the kind of brothers and sisters, for the most part, kind of knew each other.
Yeah.
And I knew Joel because my brother Kevin and him were good friends. And I just knew him from school and stuff like that. Which is funny because when I first got out to LA, he was a senior when I was a freshman. So there was always that, like, you know, hey, Finner, grab me a beer. Okay. I'll get it for you, no problem.
Good impression of Joel.
Oh, thanks. But no, we ran into him in Chicago, and he was going to Second City to do a show, and I introduced him to Chris, and Joel said, hey, do Second City and do Improv Olympic. And we did, and it kind of went really well for all 3 of us after that, which is great.
And your career is incredible. Like, if you look at all the things that you've been on, if you had a favorite show, you've been on it, in my opinion.
Oh, that's nice. Wow.
I mean, like, literally.
You've been on my favorite show.
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah, that was the thing, too, because even
when he said, like, Murphy Brown, King of Queens. One of my favorite shows that most people don't even know. I don't think you'd even say it's your biggest credit by any means.
Ed?
I loved that show.
I did too. It's a great show.
Such a good show.
Yeah.
And
it's not even reruns.
I tell people about it. There used to be the show called Ed, and people are like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even a real thing.
No, I was on it for like 6 months, and I talked to my brother, like, hey, how's it going? Oh, good. You know, I'm doing that show Ed. Oh, you're doing the movie? No. Yeah, I'm doing the movie Ed that already came out a couple years ago. I'm doing that. Like, come on, man.
No. Obviously not that.
Yes. But no, Seinfeld for sure, because that was like my wife and I, that was our favorite show.
Yeah.
And it was just surreal to be on it, I think. And I'm just going to go in, do my stuff, and just hang out. And the cast was ridiculously nice. Like, nice. Like, if I see Julia at an audition or something, she'll rise up and hug me. Like,
I love that.
She's very sweet.
I love that. Yeah,
like really cool. And Jerry,
maybe that's why that show worked so well.
I think it did. I think you're right.
Yeah, like people, they liked being around each other and they liked working together. Yeah.
No, it was that was like a kind of a fun, like, I don't say pinch me, but definitely a show that I loved so much. Even sitting on like in the Friends Cafe, Central Perk. Like, wow,
Just
I've watched
chilling
this for
there.
8
Yeah.
years and now I'm
Yeah.
sitting, like, oh, thanks, Jennifer. Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, and again, ridiculously nice, like so nice.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky in that sense, I think, to.
So this is kind of a weirder question. You don't have to answer it if you don't want, but with Joel and with Kevin and
Yeah.
with yourself and all the guys that are maybe like in your circle that you started, was it hard? And I'm asking this mostly for my own selfish reasons, like my own ego. Like the worst quality I have is that I get very jealous, like
Okay.
I'll see someone with a comedy special and I'll have to like coach myself off the ledge of
Right.
not be like, why didn't I get that? Like my
Yeah.
instinct is to complain internally, like you should be working harder. Why these people are getting things you
Right.
want? And I hate that about myself. Did you guys feel any of that when Chris became like literally giant?
No, it's a great question.
Yeah.
Super valid. I think what helps in our case is that Second City and Improv Olympic and improv in general
Mhm.
is obviously it's yes and all that kind of stuff. But the other one is to make the other person look good.
Right.
And that's really a big deal. You saw that on Seinfeld. I think that's one of the other reasons is because they cared about, like, I've been on movies where I've given a line to somebody and I'm like, hey, I throw in an alt to the director, and the alt's like, you're giving somebody else, it's a great line.
Yeah.
But you're giving somebody else that line. I'm like, it's not mine. It just makes the whole movie better. And he's like,
Right.
that doesn't happen a lot. And I'm not trying to say I'm like the.
No, that's
You
a
know,
good quality for people.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
And
we're
Second,
a team.
Yes. And Second City kind of breeds that. If the show as a whole is good, then we're making each other look good. And I think that's where that happens. To your point, I've gone against Joel. I've gone against like Dave Koechner.
Mm-hmm. I forgot you're friends with him. I love Dave.
He's great. Oh my gosh.
I get to see him pretty often now that he's like doing stand-up, which has been great.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Which I'm gonna bother you about that in a second.
Okay. But no, it's kind of one of those things where like what I do in the room is very different than what Joel does, or Koechner or any of those people, certain people. And it's kind of like even Kevin Farley and Johnny I've gone against stuff with. And I don't even say against. It's just like you're kind of there with them. So what I do in the
same
room
role,
yeah, exactly. So it's one of those, of course, I hope I get it. But if I don't, I hope Dave or Joel or Kevin or Johnny gets it. I love that. Which is great. But of course you do want it. So it's hard. I mean, I was, I think Dave and I were for the part in The Office. It was like he and I were kind of the two people. And I think Dave's incredible and so talented. I think personally, I would have brought a different spin to it, but he was the right choice. I mean, he did that. With that Todd Packer, he ran. It was so funny. Good, so funny. No, I mean, so you have to kind of go, okay, well, he did a great job, so I'm happy for him. But it is, I mean, the business itself kind of breeds that. Yeah. In that, it's more of a general thing for me. Like, oh, that guy got a show. It would have been nice to have a shot at that.
Right. Well, and I think about it too, is like the idea of like, it's not really jealousy as much as like, maybe it is jealousy. I guess in my mind, like, let's say I'm best friends with Chris Farley. Yeah. And now people are going, you knew Chris Farley? You're like, hey, he's my buddy. Yeah. We're friends. Like, I wasn't friends with the celebrity Chris Farley. I was friends with Chris Farley. Yes. And there was a time when we were both just regular knuckleheads who had beers and played rugby, and then we palled around. And now you're talking to me like I was like you, like I was like a fan. Yes. No, I knew him. I loved him, and not the way you know him. And love him. You've never even been in the same state as him, and you liked a movie. He was, so there's that kind of annoyance that is unnecessary that I feel with those sort of things.
It is. I feel bad for Kevin and Johnny. They get that a lot.
Oh, especially Kev.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Kev looks so much like
he does.
Chris. You like read like reviews on his comedy shows. Sometimes people will be like, "Oh God, he's trying to be like," you're like, he can't change his voice.
And they're brothers. Yeah. And Chris never did stand. Like it's one of those. That's such an odd. We were in Milwaukee
because people are stupid sometimes.
I know.
Yeah, that's all that is.
We were at Marquette doing a show, and then afterwards we were like, "Hey, we're all going to Murphy's to get a pint," and great. So everyone kind of came out, and this couple girls came up, and they were hammered. And I kind of was wedging Kevin in the corner because they were all, and obviously that's where Chris is, known to be from Marquette, so it's a big deal. And Kevin went there too. But I was like, oh, I'm just going to try to deflect somebody from Kevin. And this woman came up, she's like, oh my God, all right, which one are you? I go, I'm Pat. She goes, oh my God, Pat, what? I'm like, Pat Farley, I'm the brother no one talks about. Like this, and Kevin laughs, and then she went into a 10-minute like, oh my God, I was so sad when your brother died, which is nice to say, but you're like,
boy.
Yeah, it's a bit
I
much.
wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
it's, of course
Yeah,
you were.
I
Yeah.
was so
But
sad.
it's like people feel they have to
Right.
like say
That's the
something
worst.
just because. Like the two I remember out here, the first audition I ever had for the George Wendt show back in the 40s, Brian Murray was there. And I didn't know Brian, but our families knew each other kind of. And so I went in, he was auditioning for another part, and I walked in. I go, hey, Brian, yeah, I'm Pat Finn. I'm from St. Joe's. And he literally just looks at me and he left. And I was like,
You're kidding.
yeah. And I go, oh my gosh, maybe in Hollywood, you don't tell people where you're from. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to
You're trying to
justify
figure it out
whatever.
as you go.
And
Yeah.
of course, Brian's so sweet. He came back and he goes, sorry about that. I had to spit. No, but in his gruff voice, he goes,
Yeah.
St. Joe's boy. All right. And he was talking, which was,
Oh, that's hilarious.
which was very sweet, but it was such an odd, like,
Yeah, first
like introduction to it.
Just
Like, oh, maybe
totally-
that's how Hollywood works.
and very on brand, I feel like, for him.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
So the other thing I was going to say, you know, when we talk about sports, you've done all the sports, and you're like, yeah, I did a little of this, a little of that. And then you're a really established actor and improvisational guy. Why never stand up?
I've done stand up probably 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
I just like the format of improv better. I know Keckner talked about like some clean stand up tour that I think Coulier might have done. I thought about jumping into something
You should
like that.
do it.
No, I think it's a cool. I'm more of like I think I like about like when Garland does stand up. You know, Jeff Garland.
Yeah.
But he's a
Pretty mean guy to me. He's treated me
Is he really?
pretty
Oh,
crappy a
shoot.
few times.
tell
Yeah.
me you know me.
I will
You
next
know,
time.
I'll shove you in the clavicle.
Well, the thing is, like, we had really bad interactions, and I've kind of let go of it. I would never hold it against him, but I've heard other people say similar things. Only in comedy, though. Only stand-ups
Oh, really?
seem to have this with him.
I mean, I've known Jeff forever.
Yeah, actors
so-
love him. Everyone on set of like Curb loves him.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him,
Huh.
and that's what makes me go. Oh, maybe I just rubbed
But
him
some
the
people
wrong
might
way.
be. Some people are quiet in general, and I think
Mhm.
people always assume that, like you and I and Joel, a lot of us
Yeah.
are kind of like bubbly on and off
Yeah.
camera. I think, but some people aren't.
Well, and also I'm aware of this. I've said this a bunch of times. I can be annoying. I know that. I'm like a dog. If I'm bothering, just push me away. I'll
Right,
go bubble over to someone
But
else.
but you're. I wouldn't say you're annoying. I mean, we're like you're like me. We're always kind of swinging.
Yeah,
we're always
we're
just, hey,
trying.
maybe this joke will work.
Yeah.
Hey, what about this one? Hey, what do you guys think about butter? You know, just like trying to get anything like.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, foul tip
One
that
time, me and Kevin Farley, I think there was Gus Murray,
Okay.
which is Joel Murray's son, who I'm obsessed with. He's the best.
Mhm.
And I think it was Kim. And we went to like a tavern, and there was this painting of like this
Oh my
this
gosh.
old pirate. It was
Yeah.
like, why would they why would this be here?
Yeah.
We must have made fun of that painting.
Oh my god.
For about an hour and 45 minutes. So many not funny jokes, so many hilarious things. I was cry laughing because we just wouldn't drop it. We
No.
just kept
It was. I
wi-
would have loved
winging
to have, like,
it.
I would have loved to have had like somebody had like their wallet stolen that night, and somebody had to go look at the footage and
Oh,
just be
yeah.
like, "Look at these 8
Yeah.
guys. What are they do?" Like, it was.
You'd think we were on drugs. We spent so much
It
time
was-
just giggling about this one painting.
I mean, but that's the one thing I remember is I remember the painting. We're
Yeah.
in like this like round top, just sitting here, and then like every like 4 minutes, somebody'd be like, "They got another one."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it was
that
just
was
and
amazing.
there was some good ones, but I remember just even the bad ones were just
They're all
tears,
funny. Yeah,
just
they're all.
absolute-
And that's you get a bunch of funny people together.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, she said that I think Kim went back. Did you hear this? She
Mm-mm.
went back the next day and she tried to buy the painting.
Oh, yeah, I do remember this.
Isn't that
yes.
such a great move?
Wow.
Yeah,
And they wouldn't do
it's-
it.
It just
But-
shows how much of a power woman Kim is,
Yes.
and how wealthy she is. That she's like, that's it. I'm gonna go.
But I mean, what a
I'm
great,
gonna-
they would
it
have
was
said
so
$70
sweet.
bucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, what a great thing to buy and be like,
Yeah.
hey guys, like what
Remember
I got.
this? Yeah. They wouldn't sell it to her.
No. And then afterwards we went to the Stop and Drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that was, which is, I remember like, I don't know who could have been me, but I remember walking in literally 70 feet away, and it's Chicago, so there's a lot of bars. There's a bar called the Stop and Drink.
Yeah, and it was
And it's-
late.
And it's like, how do you not go into
gotta
the
stop and drink. We
Yeah,
gotta stop
the
and
sign
drink.
is telling. It's
Yeah.
literally a sign.
I remember going in this might not be the Stop and Drink, but we took our shirts off.
That was it.
We walked in, and they go, nope, out, all of you.
No, but I think you took yours off, And then
Oh, that's
I
right.
did, and then Kevin did, and then instantly Kevin got kicked out. But you didn't.
Yeah, and Kevin's like, what? He's got his shirt. That's right.
Nobody remember Kevin like, because I'm fat. And it was like this
Yeah.
whole instant
It was
universal
really funny.
etiquette.
I remember saying, or like talking with you about how, like, if you were like at that bar and you were just on a date, you'd have seen all these guys come in and then just all these guys get kicked out. It would be like the quickest, just like, nope.
No, I would love to have been like an onlooker to that process.
Where were these monsters at before this? Yeah, it was super fun.
No, that's a great.
I don't know why I brought that up. We were talking about. I'm trying to think where I was
Stopping
going.
and drinking?
Oh,
You guys are
why
just
no
about to
stand up?
joke,
Oh yeah. That's ironically, I was saying because Garland goes off on tangents.
Yeah, that's
And
what
I
it is.
tend to
And
do that.
then we did that.
Right. See? But no, I think I probably would like to try it.
You would be so
kind
good.
of fun to do. And because I'm all about like real and like you are as well, observational and
Yeah.
just kind of.
When also your perspective on life is not being told at stand up. I think the stand up community needs guys like you in the fashion that I don't foresee you getting up there and being like, man, my wife today, what a bitch, right? Which is every comic. I mean,
Right.
it's just creative complaining with
Right.
good vocab.
Yeah, and
I don't work from that. Like I try
No, you
to
don't.
be positive.
Yes.
However, even that sometimes is a negative take on how people aren't positive enough.
Yeah.
So I'm finding a way to
Right,
still,
right.
whereas you're like such a good guy and you love your family.
Yeah.
You have a great wife. I don't foresee you going up there and being the same. Like, we need
No.
your voice and stand up. Plus you'd make heaps of money and you'd be great at it.
That's so nice. Thank
Yeah.
you. No, it's funny because I do sometimes when you see a stand up, sometimes you feel like they should be lying on a couch in a psychiatrist's office.
Yes.
No, you're like, they shouldn't be standing up at this point. And yeah, I mean, I'm the kind of guy that would tell that story about the clavicle or the basketball ref.
Yeah.
That to me is like,
Yeah, that's funny.
something that really happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it would go. I think you're right. I think it'd be kind of a cool thing to try. So maybe
Well, it's
I'll look into it.
liberating to be heard.
Yeah.
Two, you have every muscle for that business, or for stand up that you've already sharpened.
Yeah.
And so the learning curve you'd immediately be pretty good, and then you'd turn out to be very good after working at it a little while. It's like Michael Rappaport started stand up,
Oh, did he? Nice.
and he's just immediately great.
Oh, good.
Because
Okay.
he already knows his voice. He's already like doing kind of like little things on social media that are very stand up esque.
Yeah.
So he got out there. It was like his first time in like years, and he crushed.
Good.
It was incredible.
Well, even Dave in the beginning was just like a
Yeah,
little bit of a
Keckner,
slow
very
process,
natural.
and then boom, he went right. I mean, it was an easier, I think, than somebody coming out of NYU going, "I'm gonna be a stand up."
He complains in his act though. Because he's got that's a. See, you guys would be very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keck is great, man. It's so funny.
No, it's perfect. I mean, that's
yeah,
one
but
of
he
those-
gets up there, he's like, my family. It's like
Oh.
hilarious.
Well, as soon as you say 5 kids, it's just like
Yeah.
the audience is on your side.
I got the impression the first time I ever saw him do stand up was like, he just wants to be out of the house.
Right.
I think he needed a break.
Yeah. No, it's true.
He ranted about how something about how he bought his kid like a $10 smoothie or something. Like he was annoyed about that. And
Yeah. No, it's true. It is. It's a.
I was like, he's venting. This is great,
Right, which
and
is
in a hilarious way, we get
No,
to watch him.
He's
vent.
good. I should look into it. I should try it.
Yeah, and you'd make tons of money.
Thanks.
Yeah. What are you working on now? You want to plug anything? You want to? Where can people find you? Where can people see you more?
Twitter at that Pat Finn if
Yeah.
you want, and Instagram is Mr. Pat Finn.
Nice.
I just did an episode of the Goldbergs.
Nice.
With
Love
Jeff,
that
which
show.
was fun. Lou Schneider directed, and he was one of the first guys I ever worked with. Actually, it's funny, back into sports. Lou's a guy from East Coast. And when I did the George Wendt show, and it was George Wendt, and who's a dear friend. He's actually a godfather to Ryan,
Oh, cool.
our youngest.
Oh wow.
And he and his wife,
Oh,
Brenda.
I
Knott.
love George Wendt too.
Great.
Yeah. So I just
And
clicked who
no,
you're
no.
talking about.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
But so it was funny. Brian Murray was in it also, so that's where Brian and I kind of first met.
Oh,
so we're all
nice.
kind of in the show, and it was going great. Shoot, I just forgot. I just lost the track of what I was saying.
So you bringing it back to sports?
Oh, sorry. So Lou Schneider was one of the executive producers of this.
Yeah.
So when you introduce the cast in front of a live audience, they're like, he wrote Caddyshack, and he's the voice of this, and been in these 20 movies, and here's Brian Doyle Murray, and the
Yeah.
place goes nuts. And then he was on Cheers, and this movie, and George Wendt. And literally I had like, he was at Second City. Like there was no bio because I never did acting classes.
He's
I
a
never
great
had-
guy, Pat Finn.
No, he's wearing trousers.
Yeah.
But so Lou Schneider would just literally just make stuff up every
that's
time.
great.
And he would be like, he's a 6'4" sophomore out of Seoul, Korea. Pat Finn. Like come out, and people are like, he doesn't look that tall.
Yeah,
He's more
yeah.
Asian. Like, it was just like that's because he goes, do you mind? I'm like,
I love that.
there's
That's
nothing. I mean,
great.
it's perfect. Exactly.
Yeah,
it's
it's really
totally
fun.
my sense of humor. Like I have no bio.
Does George Wendt live around here? I feel like
Yeah.
I think he does. I've seen him. I saw him somewhere. I went up and said hi to him. He was super nice and
Oh,
he
he's
was
so great.
But I remember thinking like, why is he in the valley? I didn't want to ask him where he lived.
No, he's got a great like it's kind of like a farmhouse.
Oh, really?
In kind of by Carpenter
Okay.
School. And it's funny with I was flying back and forth to audition for his show, and how it all transpired was I was doing a show at Second City that his wife was directing, and so they were trying to find a show for the CBS sitcom, and she's like, "Hey, I might have a guy." So they were going back and forth scouting me, unbeknownst to me.
It's great.
And then they started flying me out, and CBS is like, "There's no way in hell we're taking some guy who's not 6'4" and not from Seoul, Korea." But it was a huge fight, and Peter Tolan was the guy behind the whole show, and they finally got me in. That's how I got into the business.
That's amazing.
Out here
Wow.
at least. But yeah, so I remember to thank him, I was like, you know, he has a keg in his backyard. I'm like, what do I get him? A T-shirt that says, you know, Cubs or something. And so I got him. I used to work in the beer industry, so I
Yeah.
got a porcelain tap handle. It's about a foot tall, and it's expensive, but it's called
Yeah,
it's
it's
from
cool.
Pilsner Urquell.
Yeah.
And so he gets Pilsner Urquell because he loves that beer on tap. So we would always drink it in his backyard and talk, and it was perfect. And so I gave him that, and we put it on. And
Nice.
had a nice beer.
What a
and
great
then-
gift.
It was perfect. So then I come back a couple weeks later, and the little nub's back on, and I was like, "Hey, did that break the handle? Because I can see if I can get another one for you." Because they were really excited that you were having it. And he's like, "No, that night we went to bed, and a raccoon or a cat or something must have hit it and tipped it because it was so top heavy, and then it drained the entire keg."
Oh no.
And I was like, "I am so sorry." He goes, "No, for a day and a half to watch our dogs like walk into like walls and just like lay down. And just,
Almost
like,
killed the
No,
dog.
Oh
they just
my
drank
gosh.
all the beer. Or
Yeah,
as much
they're
as
drunk, yeah.
They're just little drunk dogs running around.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
amazing.
So, you know.
So he doesn't
Last
have it on
supper.
there no more.
No, he does not. No.
Yeah, just
No.
because he's afraid that'll happen again.
I guess, yeah. But he does. He lives right in the valley.
Oh, that's so
Great.
funny to
Yeah.
me. Yeah, drinking with him is a real unique thing too, because his whole character on Cheers was that he's just
That's it.
posted up at the bar just
Yeah.
drinking. So if you get to be by him while he's doing that,
Yeah.
it feels so cool. You're like, yeah, it's happening.
That same bar with the picture in
Yeah.
Chicago we were at, I forget the name of it. Celtic Crossing, I think that's what it's called. But I went there one time with George and John Ratzenberger.
Okay.
And so the three of us come out of a car and we're just talking, and we just open the door like you would do to a bar. And I'm in the middle, and the three of us are walking in. But every single person lined up at the bar looks, you know, as if Elvis is walking. I mean,
Yeah.
you just forget. It's
He's
like,
the
"Oh,
Elvis of drinking.
Yes, but they're like, and to see Cliff and Norm walk
Yeah,
in, even more
yeah.
so.
Perfect,
Like, it's
yeah.
such a visually, you're like, I had a weird day.
Yeah.
Um,
Am I in
but
Boston?
I feel like they leave the bar. They just like open up a spot for.
yes, true. No,
Here's
we,
your spot to drink.
we did in Boston. They have a Cheers bar,
Mhm.
and my wife and I took the kids like sightseeing all over Boston. It was like 4:30, 5 o'clock. We're like, man, we just need a beer, wind down a little bit, you know, with the kids, and just get a
Yeah.
ice cream or something for them. And so we're like, next bar we see, and we come out of like this park, and that's the first bar. We're like, oh, it's a tourist bar, but it's the Cheers
Yeah.
bar. We're like, oh, all right.
Gotta do it.
So we go, and we're sitting there, and we're having a couple drinks, and it's great. And it's touristy, but we're tourists. It's fine. And in the corner, they have a little thing that says, you know, Norm's seat. There was like 5 or 6 guys sitting there, and a
that's
bunch
great.
of glasses and bottles. And so we're there, and my wife was like, hey, you should get a picture of Ryan at the seat, and we'll send it to George. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. And he was probably 7 or 8 at the time.
Yeah.
And so I go, hey, is there a chance I could get like my son to take a picture? He's like a picture on the stool over there. I don't know how that works. He goes, yeah, no, mine is at the bar. Doesn't work. And I'm like, of course, no problem.
Yeah, he's not getting a beer.
I know, but
But I
still,
get it,
the cop
yeah,
walked
yeah,
in, I get it, and all this stuff. So I
Sure.
came back up to kind of sign out, and I go, he goes, are you like an actor or something? I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, this guy recognized you. I'm like, oh, cool. I go, yeah. The reason I asked about the picture is because George Wendt, who plays Norm, is my son's godfather in LA. He's like, are you kidding me? He goes, hold on a second. Hey, guys, at the end, yeah, scram. I'm like, I was more like, who says the word scram?
Yeah, this guy's the greatest.
Yeah. So we took a picture of the kids.
He's like mob connected or something.
Yeah.
Sorry, Donnie.
Donnie. So we took a picture of the 3 kids, and when you some like the grammar schools have little yearbooks. At the end of the year, you can take out like a little third of a page that says like, you know, congrats on a great year. You guys were awesome, and it's them all like petting a dolphin in the SeaWorld.
Hats off to you, and it's just like a compilation of them with their him wearing a hat.
So we're like, oh, Donna can be like, congrats on a great year. Cassidy, Caitlin, and Ryan, you know, cheers to next year.
Oh, that's good.
And so the people in the office were like, hey, we got your picture. It is such a great picture. We're like, oh, thanks. We're like, I mean, amazing. We got
the thing
there's
is,
like 5 bottles of beer and 2 shot glasses in front of your children. And we're like, I didn't really even notice that. Really? Yes. So we kind of can't put that in the children's yearbook.
Yeah, right.
Is that like a law? Is that like a hard rule? Is that a hard? You know, I coach basketball. And they're like, well, we have this thing on the computer where we can just kind of Greek it out.
Oh, nice.
So they did that.
That's
which is
so
funny because
great.
it's almost like, you know, like the victim that's get blocked out on the
exactly.
Yeah, it's just like that. It's like a crime scene.
It's not
mosaiced out. Yeah,
it kind of kills the. You need those glasses there to show that he's at.
Well, you could see in the background it said Cheers. It was,
Oh,
you could tell they were in the
okay.
bar.
I was gonna say, that's part of the
and they
setting.
actually had Cheers shirts on, so
That's
it was pretty
great.
good. So it was pretty good.
That works.
That was all right.
Tony, you got anything to plug, bud?
I'm doing a lot of stuff. Just follow me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Tony Reavis.
I like
Catch
that.
up on all that.
Catch me in Dayton, Ohio at the Funny Bone this weekend. Get your tickets fast, or just show up. There'll be tickets available. You don't have to get them fast.
Home of the Flyers.
I don't know why I say that.
Flyers,
Yeah,
Dayton
wait,
Flyers.
Is it,
Dayton
I don't know
Flyers.
Dayton Flyers.
That's their nickname.
Yeah,
But what is it? What team?
the college.
Oh,
University of Dayton,
Okay.
the Flyers.
Don't know nothing
I don't
about it.
know,
I've
like-
been to Dayton 75 times. I've never
Have you
heard
really?
that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
My
go all the
my
time.
dad used to work for a company called NCR, and so his headquarters were in Dayton.
Oh, really?
So he would always come home and his gifts were like Dayton Flyers.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is, in fact, before they had Amazon, it was like, oh, this is like something
I know.
from China. How did you get this?
Yeah.
In Ohio?
You went to
Of all-
Ohio?
Somebody you know went there.
Yeah.
This great land.
That is
So-
a weird thing that like now you can just get anything.
Yes.
There's nothing as
No.
Immediately.
special
In an
anymore.
hour.
Yeah.
Yes. In an hour, you can have a autograph.
It's crazy. I need a hammer. Like they'll bring it to me. I don't have to
Right.
go to the Home Depot.
It's the
Yeah.
weirdest thing.
It is.
To
It's
me.
odd.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about what you just said. Like my dad would come from the road, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm flying to whatever for work," and I'd be like, "Oh, you're gonna be in Chicago? Can you get me a White Sox pennant?" And now my dad's on this weird, crappy scavenger hunt for a thing I don't even need.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when he wouldn't get it, I was so disappointed. You know.
Yeah.
But when he would.
Oh,
It was like the best week of my life that I
Yeah.
go, oh, look, a Toronto Blue Jays pennant. Like, why? I don't need that.
yeah.
I root
not
for the
at all.
Mariners. I live in Seattle. Why did I want that? Just
Yeah.
go, my dad went to Toronto.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
But if I wanted that, I could, like you said, I could just order. It's not.
order. I had to get a pen and a
know.
hammer. Sweet.
Weird shopping list.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on this,
Oh
man.
my gosh,
I
this
love
was
you. You're the
fantastic.
greatest.
I love you too.
Let's get a beer.
All right.
Stone.
Now, wait.
Anytime.
Friendship.
How about that? What a great episode. Thanks to Pat Finn for coming into the Fortress of Solid Dudes and Dudettes. We love having that guy on, man. He's super nice, super fun. Me and Tony were gushing about him the second he left my house. Join us next week, episode 53. We're excited to have a secret guest. Don't worry about who it is. It's already booked. It's real. Anyways, we love you guys. If you're not already subscribed to our Patreon, please go over there. Please check it out. Yeah, we love you guys. Peace.